This video is on pricing strategies. The key points are types of pricing strategies, factors which determine the most appropriate pricing strategy, changes in pricing to reflect social trends. So let's start from the beginning. What is a strategy? Now, a strategy is a plan set up to achieve a long-term goal. So a strategy is a plan that sets up to achieve a long-term goal. You would not call your plan a strategy if it achieves a short-term goal or an immediate objective, or even 6 months is not a strategy. A strategy is long-term, which is more than 6 months. More than 6 months. Pricing strategies, they are a part of the marketing strategy of a business. Other strategies such as product and distribution strategy also make up the marketing strategies. Marketing strategy is part of the corporate strategy. So corporate strategy is the entire business. Corporate strategy is when the objective is set for the whole business, so all the departments, the marketing, the finance, the HR, and everybody. So everybody in the business is aware of the strategy. Other strategies include production, financial strategies. So the corporate strategy is for all of these departments. What is a pricing strategy? So pricing strategy is essentially a plan. So it's a plan to decide which pricing techniques should the business implement. Which pricing technique should the business implement? Which pricing style should the business use for their products? Essentially what it is, what price am I going to charge for my product? Types of pricing strategies. So there are 6 which we need to know for Edexcel business A level. So first is cost plus pricing. Second, price skimming. Third, penetration pricing. Fourth, predatory pricing. Fifth, competitive pricing. And finally, psychological pricing. So these are the main ones. These are different types of pricing strategies, different ways in which you can set the price of your product as a business. So first one, cost plus pricing. So in this, what we do is, this pricing is when a markup is added to unit costs. So you've got the unit cost, so which means unit means 1. So the cost of producing the one product. So the cost of producing one product is, for example, £1, and a markup is added on top of that unit cost. A markup is added on the unit cost of the product. That is cost plus pricing. So what it is, in simple terms, it's a percentage. It is a percentage of the unit cost. For example, a product costs £30 to produce. Markup would be 25%. Now this 25% right here is just the general markup. So it's just a general markup, general rule of thumb. Just like if you don't know what markup you want to go for, or whatever, you haven't quite figured that out yet, you can charge 25%. Just not for all business, obviously, just to guess, I would say. You use this formula, which is price is equal to unit cost plus markup into unit cost. Because why you do markup into unit? Because the percentage of because the markup is the percentage of the unit cost. Because you have the total unit cost, which is for example, total unit cost T. This T represents the total unit cost, and the markup is added, when the markup is added, so that's the percentage, yeah, then you have what you call the actual price of the product, which is the selling price, so SP. Now this SP, the markup percentage is part of that SP, yeah, that's what we mean by this bullet point. It is a percentage of the unit cost. This unit cost here and this selling price, they take into account the markup, okay, so the markup is part of the unit cost, okay, into the total cost, it's added onto it. So in general terms, this £30, then this £30 is 100%, okay, so it costs £30 to produce. Now they're gonna make the markup, the percentage, part of this unit cost, yeah. How? You add the markup percentage. How do you do that? You do this £30, which is 100%, plus 25%, so that would be 100 plus the 25, yeah, because you're adding the markup, so that would be 100 plus 25, which will give you 125, and because it's a percentage, you've got to divide it by 100, so it would be 1.25. So here what's actually happening here is we're basically just doing 30 into 1.25, yeah, and the answer is this one, which is 37.50. That would be the selling price. So that's your 25% markup on the unit cost. 30 is the unit cost, 25% is the markup, and if we say as in percentage terms that 30 is the 100%, then on the 100% you've got to add another 25, which becomes 125. Here, let me write this down, 125. And then you've got to divide it, which becomes 1.25, and then you get £37.50. Yeah. Next is price skimming. What this is you start with the price being low. First your price is low, yeah, and then the price goes up, yeah. In the beginning your price is low and then price goes up. Charge a high price for a new product, and then wait, I think I've mentioned it wrong. In the beginning your price is up, and in the end, as you go on, your price is lowered. So charge a high price for a new product in the market before competitors arrive. Price then has to be lowered due to competition. So this is price skimming. Essentially, you are milking it for all you can. What this means is you're new, you've got a unique selling point, USP, and you know that you've got this product and it's a good product and it's a good service, and competitors are gonna come into the market and flood this market. So before your competitors come in, you charge the highest price possible, and then as the more competition arrives, okay, you lower your price. The price lowers because of the competition, because as more, essentially what you're doing is you've got a product, it's a good product, and you put it into the market, everybody's buying it. When there's hype around it, new competitors want to sell the same product, and they can, and they come into the market, so now people got more choice, so they can go to another person to buy the same product that they haven't bought from that they buy from you. So you have to lower your price. But in the beginning, you just also called creaming. You're essentially trying to sell your product at the highest price possible, milking it for all you can, and then as soon as the competition increases, you lower your price. Yeah. So in the beginning I said, yeah, you first lower your price. That's wrong. That would be market penetration. You first keep your price up, and then you lower your price as the competition arrives. It's also called creaming. Okay, charging the price up. Price skimming and creaming, same thing. And this method is common with technical products. Yeah, so tech savvy products. Yeah, pharmaceutical companies also use this method. when they release a new drug into the market at a high price. Okay, so this is when no one has that drug. Okay, this drug cures some specific ailment. Okay, and they've introduced it, and now everybody just finds this drug amazing and everybody's buying it. You charge a higher price, the demand is high. Yeah, but however, the other drug companies, the other pharmaceutical companies now made this drug as well, because they've heard that you've used this and this, such and such. Or they can't copy exactly, but they could make an alternative and whatever. And competition arrives. So now this company has to lower their price. So that's again an example of price skimming. Advantage of price skimming. What are the advantages of price skimming? Well, people are prepared to pay the high price. That's an advantage. If you're for those pharmaceutical companies, people are prepared because it's the medicine, the doctors, the hospitals, the other services are prepared to pay that high price because they're not getting that product anywhere else yet. It helps to maximize revenue. Yes, if your price is highest possible, you will make the most revenue possible. Higher revenue helps to pay the high cost of research and development. So yes, when these companies or some big tech companies or fintech, whatever, they're pouring thousands and thousands of pounds into investing and developing their products and research and development, it's called, and it costs money. Yeah, and when you charge a high price, then as what you're essentially doing, a higher revenue, your contribution to the revenue, your research and development is high as well. So you're able to pay those high costs of research and development which you incurred while you were not making any sales. As soon as you start making sales, you are paying back those research and development costs. Okay, so that's the point of charging higher. If you charge the lower price, then you're not able to pay those recent development costs, and you're still in like debt, and the cash flow is bad and whatever, this and that. As the price is lowered, other customer groups are drawn into the market. So that happens when the price lowered, then more and more people are buying the product because the demand increases then. Because some people who were buying the product before, they needed the product and they were trying out your product and they can pay the higher price. But eventually, when price is lowered, it's just the law of demand. As price lowers, the demand increases. More people just come into the market and buy that product because it's available to them. Okay, an expensive iPhone or phone or whatever might be the highest price and people pay for it because they can afford it. But then as it gets more competition or whatever, the Samsung releases their own new phone, the price will be lower and more people will buy that iPhone because they can afford it. Skimming can only be used if demand is inelastic. This is an important one because why? Because the iPhone, people will still buy it because of the brand. Because even if the price is high, your demand falls to less proportion than your price increase. Okay, so if your price increased by 10%, your demand would only fall by 5%, 4%, whatever, so on. Your demand won't fall by a greater proportion than your change in price. That's what inelastic means. And for price skimming, your demand must be price inelastic. Skimming might also attract competitors into the market. So that would attract competitors because first of all, your product price is really high and the competitors thinks, oh well, yeah, I can offer the same product at a lower price, so they will come into the market to flood the market and gain their share of the market share of profit. Penetration pricing. This is what I was talking about earlier when I kind of made a mistake. This is when your price is lower and then your price in the beginning, and then your price, I don't know, this is not lower, let me just delete that. This is when your price is low in the beginning, penetration, and then it goes up later onwards. Introducing a new product and charging a low price for a limited, remember, not for an entire period of time, for a limited period of time. This is called penetration. What this means is penetrating. When you penetrate, this word means just going into the market, just stepping into the market, penetrating the market. How you penetrate a market, and the market is already really saturated and you want to penetrate, and you charge a low price. There's so many competitors, so many businesses selling that product, and the market is huge, and you want to get into that market, you charge a low price. And people will buy that. Oh, let me just try that, let me just try that, because it's really low. No one's buying that product. Let me just go. You're trying to buy something and you see this new person. You don't want to go to them. Why would you go to them? Okay, but you say, oh, but they're charging a really low price. Let me just go and try from them once. You try the product is amazing, quality is good, customer service perfect. You go back. Customers keep coming back to you. This allows this repeat purchase and the sales increasing allows the business to get a foothold in the market. This is the aim of this strategy, is to penetrate the market, get a foothold in the market. Businesses hope that the customers are attracted to the low price when they come, and then the quality is good and they're happy with it, and then they are essentially attracted to the product, and they are fixated on the product now, so they're compelled to buy that product again and again. Now you can go up and charge your higher price. It's what the people who are what is this? So it's what many businesses do essentially. For example, many those subscription streaming services, the price for Netflix, if anybody watches Netflix, Netflix used to be really, really low, and people used to buy it, and those free trials and everything, they used that to penetrate in the market in the beginning, and now people are used to it. People love the quality. You watch TVs and shows, and the customer service has improved. The more and more shows are coming, original, Netflix, whatever, and people are getting used to the product now people are totally dependent on the product. Now they're slowly increasing their price. Every month the price goes up for Netflix, or every 3 months or whatever. So that's what penetration pricing is. Another of approach is to offer 1 or 2 items free. That's what Netflix is offering, free trials. Prime subscription offers free trial a month. Those VPN services that you go and take, once you start using them, they offer free trial, and then you have to pay for them. Penetration pricing advantages. Good for targeting products at low income or middle income groups. Yes, it's amazing, because why? You want them to buy a product, have to be low. Good in target market, good strategy for targeting low income, middle income groups. Make the prices low, make the prices best, give them the best deals, give them items for free, give them discounts, give them offers, give them the lowest price possible. It attracts them, these groups. Sales of the product grow quickly. So this is totally for growth. If you want growth in the business, then you must have you can use this strategy, penetration pricing strategy, because it will increase sales by much faster than anything else. If you were doing this price giving, no sales, sales won't, there is less growth. You essentially you're making a profit and you're paying your costs, but growth is sort of in a way, Here the growth is just paramount. Growth happens really fast because your faster growth allows economies of scale to be exploited, because more and more demand for your product, more product needs to be produced, and when your production scale increases, your unit per cost decreases. The economies of scale is being exploited here, so your growth happens, your revenue your profit increases. This strategy can put pressure on rival. Yes, it can, because you're offering your product for the lowest price possible. Hey, I'm offering this at £1. Other competitors are offering at £2, £3, 150, 130. These people, they're offering they have their cost to manage as well, but you are able to provide at £1, and it puts pressure on them for them to reduce the cost, change their strategies, change their objectives, and try to offer that same price or even less than that if they can. If they have a low cost base, then they can implement. So if your business, you can, not many businesses can do this, because large companies who have power and everything, who can buy in bulk, store in bulk, or whatever, those type of businesses can do it. Now smaller businesses, much harder to implement this strategy. So if you have really low costs, such as like an online business, an e-commerce business, you might have lower costs than, say for example, a retail store or whatever. So the lower your cost, the higher your profit, the easier it is to implement the penetration pricing strategy. Okay, example, driving schools, attract satellite broadcasters, whatever. Good examples. Finally, you've got predatory pricing. Actually, no, this is not final. We've got one more, I think. This is charging an extremely low price to drive out a rival in the market. So this you're doing on purpose. You're not doing this to penetrate the market. It's completely different. You're doing this so that your competitor, there's so much pressure on your competitor that they go out of business. That's what your intention is. You're not doing it because you want to compete with the competitor, or you want to charge sort of a competitive price, or you want to give your customers a fair price, or because you're trying to plan your new business. You're already existing firm, and you've got those supernormal profits and whatever, and the customer base is strong. You're a powerful company, okay? But you, on purpose, charge an extremely low price just because you sense a threat or sense a new rival coming into the market and you want to drive them out. Some forms of predatory pricing is illegal in UK or the EU. Yes, it is illegal, okay, but it's because it's unfair to other businesses coming into the market. If you don't charge a competitive prices, if you like collude with other businesses and everything, and do those collusions and everything, and try to do some illegal thing, the government stops you from the government intervenes. Business is selling, however, doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It does happen. But it's careful. There's a fair line between predatory and competitive and everything, and businesses selling the product below the cost of production. Yes, you are deliberately making a loss, okay? Below the cost means you are not making enough sales per unit to which is above your marginal cost to contribute towards the cost. You are deliberately making a loss because you can afford to do so, because you've got like a huge product range, and it doesn't matter if one product is making a loss. You can put that product in the loss just to drive out your competitor, and then raise the price back up, start making your profit after your competitor is gone. This is due to the deliberate aim. See, deliberate. So which is why it is illegal in UK or EU, because it's somehow exploiting your customers and being unfair to other business competitors, which is sort of not very good way to do business in a way. This is outlawed because it reduces competition in the long run. That's true as well. If you keep just driving out competitors, then it doesn't give customers much choice, right? And having competition increases the welfare and benefits the welfare of the customer, increasing the choice of the customer, reduces customer exploitation, and gives more taxes to the government essentially. And the government will try to keep increasing the competition, or keep the competition balance as much as possible. So which is why they put the predatory pricing illegal, make the predatory pricing illegal. Next one is the competitive pricing. When businesses operate in a very competitive market, they look closely at what their rivals charge for the product, okay? So they're constantly analyzing what my competition is doing. Sainsbury's is constantly looking at Tesco's is constantly looking at Aldi is constantly looking at Lidl. What are their prices? What are they charging for their different products and services? What are they charging for what offers they give? Whatever deals they do. You could be questioning customers, surveying customers, doing whatever you want, yeah, researching or like sending in those shoppers to buy and tell them whatever. So you watch your competitor really closely. And one approach is to charge the same price. Yes, that's what most businesses do that, to charge the same price as the competition. Okay, as the competition. You have a pizza shop, and was another pizza shop in the area, and they're charging like maybe £7 for a pizza. I don't know, maybe a 10-inch pizza, 12-inch pizza, yeah. And what you do is you look at them and you see, oh, they're charging £7, but I have to do the same thing, otherwise people won't buy from me. People will buy like from them, and I can't charge a higher price because people just go to them. And and I can't charge a lower price because it won't make me a profit. But what I can I can be in between. I can charge the same price, and my pizza is better. And my pizza, you bet on your product. My pizza is better, and so people will come to me and buy from me for the same price. Another approach is for the market leader to set the price and everybody follows. This happens a lot in monopolies or oligopolies, the supermarket industry. So the market leader or whatever, they set the price and everybody follows, okay? Could be market leader could be Apple, could be in the petrol industry, could be whatever. I can't remember the name now. Enzo or whatever. I have no idea. So they could set a price, £5 or whatever, and then the other competitors, because the market leader has the maximum market share, they've set the price and the other people just follow them. Apple and Amazon are both examples of market leaders, so they would set the price for everybody else, apparently. Finally, you've got psychological pricing. Now this is, as you can tell from the name, pretty simple, straightforward. It's just got to do with the person's brain, the way we take in information, yeah, as human beings, customer behavior. Prices set below the round figure, for example, £10 is set as 9.90. Now we look at it sometimes, when you're just buying, you don't really think that much, or you think too hard. You're like, oh, it's only £9. It's actually not. It's just £10. So pretty straightforward. Not £100, 99. It's actually £100. Just consumers, just drink. I know it doesn't really matter. You can clearly see, yeah, this is £10. This is £10. No, but when you're shopping and when you're just going through those aisles and you've got these colored labels and non-colored labels. Non-colored is without discount, colored is discount. You automatically think that, yeah, oh, there's something different, this might be discount. It's not. They're just different colors, and you're just tricked into thinking the products are cheaper when they're not, yeah. It could be used this way, or it could be just colors or whatever. Just carefully look at the prices, the before price and after price, the discount. Is it actually less? Factors which determine what pricing strategy the business should set for a particular situation or for a particular product. Now, differentiation and USP. The more different your product is, or the better USP you hold, the higher price you can set. Okay, you can go there, you can charge that price giving strategy, you can use that. Price elasticity of demand. The more elastic your product is, the lower your price needs to be. The more inelastic your product is, the higher your price can get. Because if your product price elasticity demand is higher, or your product is more inelastic, that means if you if you set a high price, your demand will fall by a lesser proportion than your change in price. So essentially, your revenue will just be increasing, not making a loss at all. Yeah. Amount of competition in the market. So amount of competition in the market. Yeah. More competition, you have to charge a lower price. Less competition, you charge whatever price you want. You set the market price. You have the market share. You are the monopoly. Your business is monopolized. You charge the market rate. You're a price maker. Other businesses are a price taker. Strength of the brand. Again, this is related to this strength of the brand is related to price elasticity. If your brand is strong, then your product is supposed to be more price inelastic, because the brand is well known, people trust the brand, good reputation, good quality, years of reputation and everything. It takes years, okay, to build the brand. It doesn't happen overnight. And so people buy it no matter what price. So that increases the inelasticity of your product. Stage. At what stage are we? Okay, are you in your product? Is it the research and development? Is it the intro? Whether you wanna, now this could be different, okay, for different types of product. If your differentiation is high, then you're in the beginning you could be charging a high price, and then as the competition goes, your USP differentiation decreases as more competitors come in. You could be in the maturity or whatever in your product life cycle, and then you would have to lower the price. Yeah. So, and it could be the opposite, which is like your differentiating USP is not that much because market is saturated, or you're selling in the mass market, and so you're penetrating the market. So in the beginning, the intro or whatever, the growth happens because you charge a low price. But you go in maturity, whatever, people trust you, and you built a brand and everything, and now you can charge a higher price. So it's later on in this. So see how it was different from if you had your USP and whatever. So all these factors contribute to decision making, to setting the prices, what we need to do. Costs and the need to make the product. So that's how much it costs you to produce the product. Okay, what's the labor involved, what's the materials costing, what's the other administrative costs, what's the distribution, what's the packaging, what does it cost you to bring that product on the shelf. Yeah. And do the customers actually need that product? Do they need that product? Like, is there even a need for it? Is there a gap in the market? You don't just produce a product because you want to. You produce the product because there is sort of a need for it. Okay. And sometimes businesses just make a need for their product. That's when you're penetrating the market. Changes in the market to reflect social trends. So here are some changes. This is also a topic from our textbook, which we need to focus on. Online sales, price comparison sites. So these are a few changes, a few social trends, few things that are new that have happened these days. So online sales, dynamic sales, auction sales, personalized sales, subscription pricing. So these are different ways you could make sales online. Price comparison sites. You've got these sites that they compare prices of goods and services. So, like those hotel comparing sites or something, hotel prices, Trivago or something. You've got some other supermarket price comparison sites, and they just provide some information to consumers, useful to consumers because they provide the cheapest price. Not necessarily, because these sites, they are not as transparent or as useful as they pretend to be, because essentially they charge they make these contracts or deals with the other businesses, or businesses who pay the highest price to be listed as the cheapest product. So the business goes to them and say, we'll pay you a little bit extra to give customers our price on top of your table, your league table, for saying that our service is the cheapest price, even though it's not the cheapest. There's probably a less cheaper product. So there's some things inside the price they're not really that accurate. Yeah. So best to do your own research. Yes, and we are totally finished with this topic. Keep the annotations. And so we've covered types of pricing strategies, factors which determine the most appropriate pricing strategy, changes in price. So this was the whole chapter on pricing strategies at Excel A-level business. Yeah.